What is going on, guys? As you guys can probably already tell by the title, this is my Pro Evolution Soccer 2013 review. I've had the game for about 2 weeks, as did probably most of you. And I just kind of want to give you guys my thoughts on the game and what I think Konami can improve and what I think they did well. So getting straight into it, the best aspect of Pro this year is gameplay. I'm not gonna lie, the gameplay is probably the best I've seen, from Pro so far. An interesting thing about it is that Seabass, the guy who's generally the lead designer of all PES games, he had literally no input in PES 2013, which kind of makes me wonder how long have they been holding out on us in terms of gameplay. Because if he had nothing to do with it when it comes to gameplay and it looks this good, how long have they had this gameplay engine for, and why wasn't it implemented into previous games such as 2012, 2011? That's a bit worrying, because unless if they created this gameplay engine without the help of Seabass, which if they did is great, and with me being a sarcastic and a pessimistic kind of guy I am, I don't think that they've just recently created this engine. I think they had it running, in their offices for quite a while, and they just chose, for whatever reason, to not implement it in previous games such as 2010, 2011, and even 2012. Maybe 2010 is pushing it, maybe 2011, you could say. I'm pretty sure that 2012 they had this engine running, in their offices. Unless I'm completely wrong and they pretty much just made this engine, for PES 2013 without the help of Seabass, but I doubt it. So going on a tangent, the reason why, Seabass didn't have, creative input into this game is simply because he's working on the next generation engine. This year is the final year that PES will run on this engine, and I am happy about that. I am literally over the moon about that. Not saying that this engine was bad, there's just like some flaws in this engine that was kind of bugging me for a few years now. So when it comes to game modes, the Champions League looks better than ever. Become a Legend is good as well. Master League is good. Everything seems good. There's only one problem I'm having with Master League. It's also a feature in Become a Legend, but it's not that much of an issue in Become a Legend because the goal is to make your players better. There are boots now that you can equip which actually increase your players' stats. So as you guys can probably already see, by the video now, generally these boots increase your speed, your shooting power, all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of an annoying feature. In most PES forums, it's like a little running joke where they call them magic boots. I like to call them Merlin's crepes. So Merlin, as you guys know, is a magician, and crepes is like a slang term for shoes in England. So these boots, when it comes to Become a Legend, I am fond of these boots because they actually help, improve my player, which is generally the goal. I don't want to be stuck on like 87 finishing, when I can actually, equip some boosts to actually help my finishing go up to 90. Because in Become a Legend, that's generally the point. You want your player to become better so that you can go to a better team, so you can play better, so you can win more awards, more trophies, all that kind of stuff. It's a bit annoying when it comes to Master League, simply because when it comes to Master League, I would prefer a more authentic, football simulator with just an improved development system. I don't want the option to equip these shoes onto Crouch and make him like Ibrahimovic or some shit, simply because, well, in real life he's not. I'm not saying Crouch is a bad player, we all know that lanky son of a bitch, has got some skill, but I would prefer it to be, a lot more authentic, a lot more realistic, with just an improved development system, that sort of negates, a guy like, Carlos Vela from going from, I think, what is he, 70 something to becoming like 99. Like, as long as that doesn't happen, I think I'm happy pretty much. So if they just kept the old Master League system where it's authentic and they just improved the development system, just a tad bit, making it so the players actually look like they have some promise, making them into superstars, and the ones that don't, not so much. I would more prefer if they, went down that route instead of equipping, the Sorcerer's Sandal and making, your player, go from 75, finishing to like 85 finishing. You guys generally get the point. I'm not fond of Merlin's crepes, whatsoever. In terms of Master League, when it comes to Become a Legend, they're the shit, I'm happy with them. I can't complain, and they're making my player seem a lot better than he is, and that's enjoyable. So online, as always, when it comes to pay-to-pay games, with any pay-to-pay online server, you're gonna have some issues. I don't want to say FIFA dominates the whole European scene, but it's got the majority of people from the EU buying it rather than PES, and because of that, I'm sort of put into matches with people from the Arabian Peninsula and from outside the EU, which makes the game seem a bit laggy for me, and I definitely know the game's laggy for them, but it doesn't really happen as often as it used to. It's just sometimes, like once every 5 games, the game will be bugging out a little bit, here and there. The worst thing when it comes to lag, personally for me, is button lag. When it's visible lag, when you can see, Ronaldo, bouncing up and down or going through the pitch, that's not an issue. That's visible lag. You already know you're screwed there. But the worst part about lag for me is called button lag, and that's pretty much where the game, it looks like it's running smoothly, but every single time you press the button, the player actually does the action and the command about 1 second to 2 seconds after you've done it, which makes it a bit difficult to, in a sense, play the game, because your command is lagging but the game itself is not lagging, which makes it so that you kind of have to play the game in a ping pong manner and try your best to judge, where, your other players and your teammates are going to be, and pretty much try your best to bounce the ball off each other, like 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and hope it will lead to you getting a 1-on-1 chance with the keeper, which you pray to God that when you shoot, he actually shoots the ball. But so overall, I would say when it comes to anything besides Merlin's creps and sometimes with the laggy online system, PES 2013 is pretty much the complete game. When it comes to licensing, I know generally most reviewers love to use the licensing, card just to, pretty much lessen Pro score. So Pro could have been this year 9.5 instead of a 9. If said reviewer did not say, I don't want to play with Man Blue no more. But pretty much with the patch installation guide that I've done, that kind of negates any argument that anybody has when it comes to licensing. What I'm hoping for, with the new engine is that if they can just pretty much just crispen out or pretty much just make it feel just a bit smoother than it already is, that would be great. If they just take out, Merlin's creps from Master League and, go back to its, authentic roots, that would be great. If they did those two things this year, PES 13 would definitely be a 10 out of 10. Just that those two little things are kind of annoying me a little bit because I do play online, a fair amount. And when it comes to the Master League, I mean, come on, who, buys PES and doesn't play Master League? Nobody, obviously, because that's one of the best things about Pro, Master. If you're more interested in playing like an 11 versus 11 mode with like 10 of your friends versus, another guy and 10 of his friends, then I wouldn't say PES is the game for you. But if you're interested in a true football simulator with a lot of features to keep your interest, the whole year round, then PES 2013 is a great game. Overall, if you want to talk about numbers, I'll give it a 9 out of 10.